Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx, and we can continue with Everlasting Summer. We enter the cabin. Inside it looks something similar to what I imagined. 2 beds, a table, a couple of chairs, a simple carpet on the floor, a wardrobe. Nothing special, but at the same time it felt home-like and cozy, although this room was almost in the same state of disorder as my own flat. The girl standing near the window appeared to be about 25 years old. Nature had obviously gifted her with a pretty face and a good body. At least one thing can keep you happy in this pandemonium: the locals are beautiful. Agreed. You're finally here. Excellent. My name is Olga Dmitrievna. I'm the camp leader. I don't like that picture here. Nice to meet you. I'm Semyon. And he said talk as if I wasn't surprised by anything that was going on. She came closer. We've been expecting you since early morning. You've been expecting me? Yes, of course. And when does the next bus come? And why do you need it? Yeah, right, why would I need it? Guess I shouldn't ask direct questions. The people here might react to them quite unlike how I'd prefer. And I doubt I get any answer. No reason, just curious. By the way, where are we exactly? Our mailing address, I mean. I wanted to send a letter to my parents to tell them I got here fine. For some reason, I had the desperate idea that if I played along, I would find something out. Oh, but your parents called just half an hour ago. Send their regards to you. No, that's a surprise. So, can I call them? Cause I forgot to tell them something before I left. No. She gave me a sweet, spontaneous smile. Why not? We don't have a phone here. Huh? Then how could my parents make a call to here? I've just come back from the district center town. I talked with them there. Ah, so that's how it is. And can I somehow get to the town? No. She kept the same smile. Why not? Because the next bus only comes in a week. I decided not to inquire how the troop leader managed to get there and back. I would get no answer anyway. All this time Slavia was standing next to me and seemed to find nothing odd in our conversation. Oh, we need to find a uniform for you. I've got absolutely no desire to put on pioneer shorts or to wear the ridiculous red neckerchief. However, wearing winter clothes in summer isn't a great idea either. Right, thank you. I wonder if I'm the only one here who finds it strange that someone's wearing a coat and winter boots in such heat. Right, D.O., I'll be off then, and you can get yourself acquainted with the camp. Don't forget to come to the dinner in the evening. Having said that, she walked out of the cabin. No, walked is not the right word. She rushed out. I ended up alone with Slavia. I must go too. Got things to do. Take a walk, look around the camp a bit. See you in the evening. If there is no treat or catch to this, then this reality, as embodied by Slavia becomes more and more appealing. For the first time today, I realized that it was awfully hot here. Although, obviously, my winter clothes were to blame for that. I took off my coat and dropped it onto the bed. My pullover followed it. I was now wearing only the shirt. That's much better. All I could do now was follow their advice and go look around the camp. I tried to find something out in the meantime. Passing the local residential area, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way. And it was really a pioneer guy, not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men even in this kingdom of Amazons. No! I wanted to be the only one there. Okay, well, we'll win this competition. Hello, you're new here. You must be Semyon, right? And how do you? Everyone knows already. I'm electronic, by the way, the real one. You can call me that. Electronic, the real one. Things were going crazy to completely insane. Electronic was a robot character appearing in a popular Soviet film and book series. He looked like an exact copy of a school kid called Sergei Chezikov. Alright. Uliana also calls me Cheesy. Cheesy. On toast with mushrooms. Because my last name is Chezikov. I see. Let me show you around. I accepted his offer, as it would have taken much longer to get to know this place alone. Fine, let's go. We ended up at the square again, as if this place was all there is to this camp. Lena was sitting on one of the benches, reading some book. Electronic confidently approached her. Hello, Lena. Meet the new guy, Semyon. He started briskly. Hello. Well, you could say we've already met in a way. Yes. She looked away from the book and for a moment glanced at me, blushed and went back to reading, as if noticing that we were still there. Here. Alright, let's go. I was at first surprised that meeting this girl was reduced to a couple of words, but then I thought that it was better that way. Electronic's vigorous activity did not fit well with Lena's shyness. Let's go. Next we came to a building which I instantly identified as a canteen. And this here. I know this is where you consume organic food. Yeah, something like that. On the canteen's porch stood the unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. At the sight of her, my jogging mood vanished in a blink of an eye. Really, now is not the best time to be pulling this guy's leg, even though he's quite hilarious. First I need to figure out what's what here, or at least where I am. Her, over there, that's Alisa Dvachevskaya. Be careful around her. He spoke in a whisper. Don't ever risk calling her Dvachev. She doesn't like that. Dva means two in Russian. The whole nickname sounds exactly like Tuch in Russian. A reference to the late Tuch.ru, Animal's image board. Isn't this the site that this guy was browsing earlier in the beginning when we were sitting in front of PC? What did you say? What did you call me? She must have heard him. In the blink of an eye, Alisa jumped down from the porch and dashed towards us. Alright, you will manage from here onwards. Electronic took his heels. Run after him. Do nothing. Well, actually she's... Why would I run behind him? I didn't do anything. I think. Do nothing. Let's face her. Alisa, running past, stopped for a moment and growled. I'll deal with you later. Deal with me? What did I do wrong? I added a forced guilty smile to my words. But what am I guilty of? She made no reply and carried on chasing Electronic. Looks like I'll have to kill time alone, waiting for dinner. I decided to go east. At least in the direction where east would be in my world. Soon after I found myself near a football pitch. A game was in full swing there. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years I was not a bad player myself and even thought of going professional, but a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of our certain chance in the game. I understand you. However, I quit it. Not having any injuries. Or maybe I had one, or two, but not very serious, and I was able to play with them. Let's continue and not get the boring story of my life. Kids of different ages were running around the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl of about 14 years old. A girl? Hey, that's Uliana! Alright, so she plays football. What's so surprising? Exactly. I don't know what surprised you so much. She seems a restless one after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me. Hey you! Uliana shouted. Wanna play? I didn't know how to answer. On the one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be my final one. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around and walked back. I was followed by Uliana's screams about my pants or about me being a pansy. I would rather say being a pussy. Or something like that. Evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted with no real purpose. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench and gave an exhausted sigh. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to the people here, right? You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I can care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. Could great people also be affected by this? And in that case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and it does not really matter which mechanism I serve as a gear in society, the Matrix, or a weird pioneer camp. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells chiming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. It must be the dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that I now knew where it was. Olga Dmitrievna was there, standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Semyon, what are you waiting for? Come in already! Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I'd had a chance to visit factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same. Just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with the occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp is supposed to look like. Semyon, wait a moment, we'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Dachevskaya, hold it right there! Olga Dmitrievna shouted at Alisa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat, right now! Alright, alright. Alisa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. You look kind of similar to the girl from Gakuen Redux. But, well, let's not compare it now. Go over there, next to Uliana. Maybe I... Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table too. I had no other choice but to accept. Of course, there was the probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curare, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. In common Russian language, cutlet is minced meat, fried or baked in the shape of a ball or a cylinder, close to American patties. I would love to eat it now. Compote is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Compote in French. So compote is the same thing as compote in Poland. I hate this thing. I really hate it. I don't know. It really tastes bad in my opinion. But it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist. And we will sit with Uliana in the wine table in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed that one and see you in the next. Bye.